A lot to talk about. So joining us now is Reince Priebus. He's the chairman of the Republican National Committee. Good morning, Reince. Great to see you. How are you feeling?
Hey, this isn't fair. You guys are inside the Venetian, and I'm on the outside where it's like 32
We are
degrees,
literally chilling you.
Hey, it was a
That is terrible.
It was a good night, and I thought CNN and Wolf did an exceptional job, so we were pretty pleased.
So, Reince, other than when you almost gave me a beatdown right before the men went on stage, how did you feel about the state of play out there? And when you heard Donald Trump say, I respect the party, I've learned to respect the people on this stage, I will stay a Republican, I'm not running as an independent, what did it mean to you?
Well, I never worried about it. I really, it's not just something I'm sort of trained to say here with the question. I just never was. I never lost any sleep over it. I always thought that would be the case. And the truth is that it's extremely difficult that once you start running on ballots as a Republican or a Democrat, it's very, very difficult in this country to then change your mind and reverse course, because most states have what they call loser laws, which means once you're on the ballot in one party, you can't switch. But on top of that, I knew that when the candidates gave me their pledge and when they agreed to their word that they were going to support our party, I never doubted that any of these folks would reverse course. So I trusted the people that were on the stage, and I always knew that they would adhere to the pledge.
That's interesting, right? It's because Donald Trump is unpredictable. I mean, he's nothing if not unpredictable. In this whole race, he's done things that were different than what people said he might do, or they certainly had different outcomes. And so you believed him, but many in the party were quite nervous about it, because they said that if he were to run as an independent, that would be handing the election to Hillary. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the difference is that we're the only place, the Republican National Committee, that's actually interacting with every single campaign on a daily basis. So we know what's going on. We're visiting the campaigns. Our political director, our finance directors, our chief of staff, they're all in communication, not just over the telephone, but in person with all these campaigns. So we know, we know pretty much everything that's going on. So I was never worried about it, and so it was one of those narratives out there that percolates every once in a while that we deal with, but it doesn't mean that we're actually sitting around biting our fingernails, concerned that something like that's actually going to happen.
Reince, a couple of things for you to help us on. One is, do you think that the party will continue to want undercard debates after last night? Do you think you're moving into a new phase? And second, you have a classical Italian name, Reince Priebus. Last night, when Dr. Carson seemed to struggle with your last name, is that something that you've become comfortable with? Has it just happened over the years?
Look. Oh, listen, from the moment I've been in kindergarten on, I dreaded the first day of school when the teacher would try to pronounce my name. I tell people it's what happens when a Greek and a German get married, Chris. I mean, it's like a cultural disaster. But it's unique, and I've learned to live with it. I will tell you guys this. We named our kids Jack and Grace. So one family tradition I put an end to, and that's the name Reince. So we're going simple.
Do you think you're going to ask for another undercard after this, Reince, or do you think it's time to move into one echelon?
Yeah, I think we're going to evaluate that as we go. But, I think it's been good. I think, if you look at, we'll see what happens today, but I would bet that the ratings on the first debate are probably through the roof. So, I mean, when you've got, in these past debates, when you get 5 and 6 million people watching the first debate, it's sort of hard to make the case that it's not something that's very valuable for our party, and these candidates obviously deserve an opportunity to make their case.
Reince Priebus, thanks so much for getting up early and standing outside in the cold to talk to us. Great to have you on New Day.
All right.
That wasn't my decision, by the way. I said you should be inside. Allison said she wanted you outside. I don't know why.
I said you were hardy enough to be out there.
Greek, German, they love the cold.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.